I didn't style my hair today and it shows. Don't judge me like that. Okay, let's get into it. Hello, darlings, and welcome to Performance Perspective, where we talk about different performances and share our perspective. My name is Care Darling, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Well, we'll see, because today we are talking about Grinch, the musical. Already based on how I'm talking, you probably already know what I'm going to say. And you're probably wondering, wait a minute, Carolyn, aren't you late to the game? Didn't this come out in 2020 and now I'm talking about it? Yeah, well, I wanted to be festive and I was like, oh, let me talk about the different Christmas musicals out there. And one of them is The Grinch. And I saw that you can watch it on Peacock and I was like, oh, this is cool. Because I went and saw it live. I went to the Pantages out in Los Angeles. I remember I fell in front of the club, Tiger Heat, and it wasn't just like a fall. It was like I fell 3 times before hitting the floor, and everybody was in line to to go to the club, but then they just watched me eat it. Then as I was watching the musical, I was like, my leg was bleeding. But I had a great time, and I remember thinking that the musical, it wasn't something where I was like, guys, this musical is amazing. It was cute. It's something to do with the family, and it's adorable, and that's how I took it. Then I watched the Mathew Morrison version, and I just remember thinking, what happened? If you haven't seen it, I don't know. Part of me is like, go ahead and watch it so we can suffer together and go, why? Why did we do this to each other? Or just, see little clips of it online and just be like, saved you some time, go on with your life. I would say if you're gonna go see it, yeah, see it live. It's cute and stuff, but it's not going to change your life. Anyways, there's other, Christmas musicals out there. There's White Christmas, Holiday Inn, Elf the musical. I did see White Christmas and I'm like, it's a great story. And it's also when they have the costumes and the costumes are right, gorgeous, beautiful, and it's just an enjoyable story. Nothing has really changed from the movie musical to it. Holiday Inn, however, now listen, Holiday Inn, the movie, it has blackface, so you're not going to see it, on TV as much anymore. I wonder if they cut it out. It really amazes me how much that we've progressed in our lives, but for me, thinking back, I used to watch this movie all the time and not think about it at all because I was like, oh yeah, it's part of the storyline. And now it's like, wow, the fact that we made that normal and okay for so long, I don't know, I find it interesting. So if you're thinking, oh no, Holiday Inn, the live musical, what are we gonna do? Of course they took that out. They also took out the song, which I love, which is, Abraham, Abraham, because they're celebrating Lincoln's birthday on that. But you know what? Honestly, we're fine. That I have to say, Holiday Inn, they did change some things within the story, some things that I love and some things I'm like, no about, but also it's something I can live with. Even if I'm like, oh, I hated that they did that, I think it's such a good show. So if you're have a chance to go see Holiday Inn and it's near you, go see it. Honestly, go see it. Or you could go to Broadway HD and watch it. It's that good. I think it's hilarious. By the way, but Corbin Bleu is in that version. If you're a High School Musical fan and you're like, Corbin, what are you doing here? He's really good. I'll say one thing I don't like within the story that they did. So in Holiday Inn, it has Fred Astaire and Bing Crosby. And also, fun fact is that White Christmas was originally in Holiday Inn, and then they created the movie White Christmas with the featured song in it, again, with Bing Crosby. Back to Holiday Inn. So Fred Astaire, the thing about the 2 things within this movie that I love is Fred Astaire doing the 4th of July dance, which happens in the musical, which is really cool, because you're following him on someone that was supposed to have a duet with someone, and then they're not there. So he has to improv this dance, and he does it with, fireworks and all the, ow, all of the sparkly things. And another thing that he does is it's New Year's Eve, and he comes to the Holiday Inn and he is drunk. But through this, it's one of my favorite scenes. He's so drunk that he doesn't know who he's dancing with. Hence, he's like, that needs to be my dance partner. I need to find her. It helps the story. So in the movie version, recommended, go and watch it, because at a certain point you have to remind yourself, wait a minute, he's not actually drunk. Like, he's doing this sober, playing drunk, and it just seems so realistic as far as this whole scene and what's going on, and people excited to see him because he is a star and well known, but he's kind of like not doing well as far as like what's going on in his kind of life. But then we go to the musical. Corbin Bleu is playing this part, and I believe the character's Danny, and he comes in drunk, but then he kisses the girl, and I was like, no, like, I like the thought of him coming in, and yes, he does cause a big fuss, but it's not that he's doing like inappropriate things. It's just like, dude, you just showed up and you were drunk, and you kind of caused havoc. Like, they could have done that without him getting on the girl. But yeah, that's just me. And they cut down the dance, which I was like, dude, this could have been like a really cool moment, but whatever. Okay, moving on to the Grinch. Why do I not like the live version? I think it's because I'm looking at Mathew Morrison, okay? And only Mathew Morrison, because I could not look away, and I don't mean that in a nice way. I feel like he sexualized the Grinch a bit, where I was like, what is he doing? Like, is he trying to like turn me on? Yet Jim Carrey, when he did the Grinch, there was so many things about him where I was like, oh, I really like him, and oh, I get why he behaves like this and acts like this. But then Mathew Morrison, it's just like, not only is he gross in the sense of like, yeah, the Grinch eats this and he has onions and he doesn't really like clean himself. He's gross in that sense, but also personality wise, he's gross. So it made me be like, ugh, no. The costumes in it were beautiful. The songs are cute. And I did like the cast. I think now looking at it live, the storyline that it's Max telling the story and seeing him grow up, it's adorable, but I don't know. In my head, I'm like, you know what? I could have done without Max being the one telling the story and just having it like just a narrator telling the story. But whatever. They needed to add songs and they needed to do it in a sense. Fine. So I will put up my actual live reaction of me watching the musical, and what finally made me just go, I'm done. Yeah, there's no going back from here. I know you're supposed to have your heart grow 3 sizes larger, but I'm just done. And you'll see that in the TikTok video. I don't know if there's really anything else to say. It's not like there's a song in there where I'm like, oh my gosh, this song is amazing, this is memorable, or anything like that. The only thing that's cool is the costumes and like some of the dances. Like, I know the guy from Descendants was in it and he plays younger Max, but everything was sort of one note, right? Like, he's a dog and he's just like, I'm a dog. Oh, and oh, that's another thing. Like, the Grinch was, to me, really abusive, the way that he would treat Max. Like I said, it was just one note. And it wasn't a positive note. It was a very annoying note the whole time. And I felt like that's what a lot of these characters did, was they're like, this is my personality and that's it. And there's no like, well, this is me happy, this is me sad, this is what angers me, this is what makes me confused, this is what annoys me. So by the time the Grinch realizes like, oh, you don't actually need all of this stuff to have Christmas. Christmas is about the ones that you love and that are near you. And he's like, oh, well, maybe Christmas is this. I didn't take it as like this was a true lesson the Grinch learned. It was just like, oh, well, maybe it's just the people. Anyways, darlings, I would love to know, what's your perspective on this? Are you still scarred? Or I would love to know if anyone was like, oh my gosh, I loved it. It's my favorite. I can't wait to see it. And I would love to know, what is your favorite like Christmas musical? Maybe I haven't seen it and I should see it and enjoy it. All right, darling. So without further ado, take care, darling.